Hello, my name is Holly. In this yoga session, we will be focusing on our hips, our low back, our legs. A couple of props we're going to be using in this one, something like a yoga strap. So that could be a belt or a scarf, something that'll give you some extension. And I'll be using a mini yoga bolster because I happen to have that. Of course, I don't expect everyone to have something like this. So instead of a bolster, you could use pillows. I would say grab one or two pillows, maybe ones that you could also fold in half and still use. If you happen to have a yoga block, you could use that as an option as well. So just those two props. If lying on the floor is a little sensitive for your joints, you might want some padding, perhaps like a folded up towel, especially for your low back, maybe a folded up towel or pillow for your head. You could also try this class lying in bed, nice and soft, so options. All right, we'll get started. So coming to lie on your back, maybe you have your knees bent, feet on the ground. Maybe you have your legs lengthened. If you happen to be lying on a floor and if that is too much for your low back, this is where maybe you would want to try having a folded up towel to your low back, or just bend your knees, place your feet on the ground. You might find that that helps alleviate some of that pressure. So just taking a couple moments to notice how your hips, your low back is currently feeling. And then if you don't already have your knees bent with your feet on the ground, you'll do that now. We're going to bring the right knee in towards the chest and we'll give it a squeeze. So if you have your hands interlaced over the top of your leg, and by pulling it in, if that's too much pull on your knee, try interlacing your fingers behind your leg, so over your hamstrings, and see if that helps you. And then you can either keep your left leg bent or maybe you lengthen it. Now that left leg can just be relaxed, or maybe it's as though you're pressing out through that heel as though you're standing on the leg. And with a couple of inhales, noticing how your ribs gently press against your right thigh. With your exhales, perhaps your knee moves in closer towards you. Maybe you want to try rocking your knee side to side a few times. We'll find our strap, our belt, our scarf. You're going to place it around the ball of your right foot and lifting that leg up towards the ceiling. So you might have a different range of motion here depending on your hamstrings. So perhaps having that left leg lengthened is too much. Maybe you want to bend that leg and place your foot on the mat or the ground. With your right leg up in the sky, if your hamstrings are particularly tight, maybe you need a little bend to that leg. Now, if your leg is bent, don't feel like you have to bring that leg so far to you to get quote unquote more out of it. One option could be lowering that leg to a point where the leg is still straight. And that could be plenty for those hamstrings on that right leg. Maybe you can ease it up a little bit at a time. And just a couple more breaths here. Now if your leg is quivering, that's okay. It's not unusual. And we'll take the strap off this foot. We'll let the leg lower. So noticing how that right leg feels compared to the left one at the moment. Maybe it feels a little bit longer or a little more spacious. So we'll even that out by bringing the left knee in and giving that leg a squeeze. So again, maybe you want your hands interlaced over the top of the leg or over the hamstrings at the back.
And the right leg can either be lengthened, relaxed, or pressing up through that heel, or if that's too much, bending the knee and placing the foot on the ground. Always your choice and always going based on what works better in your body. And maybe you want to take a few side-to-side motions with that left knee. And we'll find our strap or belt or scarf and we'll loop it around the ball of the left foot and lifting that leg up to the sky. So maybe the hamstrings on this side feel a little more open or perhaps a little more tense. So if they're more tense, try exploring bending the right knee, placing the foot on the ground, or try lowering that left leg to a point where the leg is still straight and you're still getting some sensation on your hamstrings. Or maybe you want to keep a bend to your leg as you lift the leg up. But again, don't feel like you have to bring that leg all the way up to your face or touching the ground over your head. There's no reason for that. Excellent. And we will release, let this leg lower down. So noticing how both your legs are feeling. Are they feeling a little more even? Both feeling a little bit longer? We're bending the knees. We'll bring the soles of the feet together so the knees fall apart for a reclined cobbler's or butterfly pose. So if you happen to have those pillows nearby, if this is feeling like a lot in your inner thighs or your hips, you could also take a pillow and place it underneath your thigh. Maybe just one leg needs that extra support. Maybe you need it on both thighs. So giving that a shot if this is feeling like it's not particularly sustainable. And perhaps just having those pillows under your thighs just lets your nervous system know we're fine, we're safe, it's okay. And then maybe over time, you'll get some of that relaxing going on in your legs. Now, keeping your legs in this shape, we're going to start lifting our hips off the ground. So you're really rooting into the outside edges of your feet. Yes, this will feel wobbly. Yes, this will feel unnatural. Good. Lower your hips down. Did it feel like your legs just relaxed a little bit more? Let's try that one more time. Lifting the hips, pressing into those outer edges of the feet. And lowering the hips back down. Maybe you want to rock side to side a few times in your low back. And we're bringing the knees back together, feet on the ground. Finding your pillow or pillows or yoga block or whatever prop you're using. We're going to lift the hips. We're sliding our prop under our hips. So not to low back, under your hips directly. I mean, part of your low back will be on there, of course. Now maybe you've placed one pillow on and you don't feel like you're getting much of a lift, much of a back bend. So maybe you want to try folding your pillow in half if it can fold, or maybe grab another pillow and stack that on top. See what height works for you. And then once you feel satisfied with this slight back bend, maybe you want to keep your feet on the ground, or maybe you start gradually lengthening your legs. Maybe you want to pause with your legs still partially bent and see how that feels first. Or maybe you go ahead and fully extend your legs. So now we have this back bend going on, opening up the front of our hips, our hip flexors. And your arms can just rest anywhere they like. But if you notice your shoulders are scrunching up high to your ears, you're going to slide them down, keeping your throat open. Now the idea here too is your legs are relaxed, so don't feel like you have to be flexing your feet so you're pressing out through your heels. It's fairly active. Right now we're just trying to take a little more of a restorative feeling to this. And if you have your legs fully extended and it starts feeling like too much, you can always start bending your legs and placing your feet down and see how that feels. And when you're ready, we'll bend the knees, place the feet down on the ground, lift the hips, and slide your pillow, your prop away. Keeping your knees bent, we're going to walk the feet wider than hip distance. You'll decide how wide works best for you. And letting both knees fall to the left. Just a nice little twist here. We'll bring the knees back to center. Feet are still wider than hip distance. And letting the knees fall over to the right. And maybe your twist this way feels a little bit different than the last side. That's okay. And we're slowly bringing the knees back to center. You maybe take your feet more of a hip distance, or maybe you keep them at the wide stance. We're letting our knees fall in to rest on one another. And taking a couple of breaths to notice how your low back, your hips, your legs are currently feeling. If you made a note at the beginning of the session how they were feeling, now you can compare. Maybe you feel a little more spacious. Maybe it feels like some of that tension is gone. And if you have the time to remain here to relax, I would encourage you to do that. But of course, if you need to go about your day, coming on up. So thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this mini hip, leg, low back session. Thank you.